Hi everybody, it's Peter, and I'm here with a movie review today. So yesterday, I went to go see Star Trek Beyond. And what I figured I was going to do anyway is, because I had very low expectations and I wasn't impressed with number 2, Into Darkness. So I went into lower expectations. I remember all the hype about Simon Pegg writing things about Sulu and the LGBT and all that good stuff. And Justin Lin, who's the Fast and Furious director. I thought, oh, here we go. It's going to be just, Fast and Furious in space. Cars jumping or whatever, spaceships jumping through things, doing amazing stunts, that kind of thing. So there was a little bit of that. But anyway, one of the points I wanted to make was I actually still had one leftover free coupon for a free movie I got. And I basically went in with low expectations. I thought, Simon Pegg's not a bad writer, but I heard all the other flack about making Sulu gay, and George Takei wasn't happy with that. And I thought, oh, here we go. This is going to be I don't know what kind of movie we're going to get. But, and I said, if it doesn't work out, I'm basically turning in my comm badge and my official Star Trek membership card and decoder ring and just give up on the franchise. So actually this gave me a little bit more hope. So this movie wasn't as bad as I thought. I did watch another review where they did say it's meh. Some people are going like, oh no, it's wild and wonderful, it was great, it was amazing, personally, I'm on the side of meh. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was enjoyable. My only concerns were, one, I was glad I didn't see it in 3D because I'm not sure how they are in the States, but the polarized lenses we get up here, it's basically wearing sunglasses in the movie theater, and if you have very dark or low lit scenes, it's dark. So half the time I might have to take off the glasses and say what's that? Oh, okay. Yeah, I still can't see what the heck's going on. And that's what I found in Beyond. That's actually one of my first little beefs, is basically I felt 50% of the movie was shot there. Okay, sure, the ship crashed, there's no power, there's no lighting, they're walking through caves on the planet where they crash landed and that sort of thing. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, basically what it is, it's just a continuation of the 3-year mission. It's basically, Kirk says in one of his log entries, it's 900 and something days into their mission, that kind of thing. So it's basically, movie starts off with they're on a diplomatic mission with having to give the MacGuffin to the indigenous race to say, oh, this race is giving a goodie to you, and that goes from there. So I don't want to spoil it. I might do some spoiling later on, minor ones, so keep your eyes out for that. I may have to put up an annotation say spoiler. So anyway, overall it wasn't bad. Music was good. They were sticking to the music of the first movie. I totally have the second movie blotted out of my memory, so I'm not sure on how the music was on that. But this one was pretty good. The character was pretty good. They did a nice mix of okay, we're just going to do pair-offs. We're going to do Spock and Bones, so you get the repartee like they had back in the original series, and they kept it to that. Kirk was paired off with Chekhov, Sulu and Uhura with the rest of the gang who is shipwrecked, and Idris Elba plays the bad guy. And yeah, he was just, and the one thing I have a concern also, another beef I have with movies and TV shows in general, why is it that when they make the bad guys, they all sound like they need a throat candy? I'm bad, I'm evil, I have this evil scratchy throat. Okay, well, people like Michael Ironside, if you remember from back in the day, 80s movies like Top Gun, that kind of thing, he actually played the Admiral in X-Men First Class. He was the Admiral on the ship. He has a natural scratchy voice. There are other people that have natural scratchy voices, but people like Christian Bale, okay, he's the only person who's not playing a villain, has a scratchy, I'm Batman. It's do you feel dude, do you want a lozenge? Do you want a Hall's candy? Does Lifesaver something to suck on because your throat's really... I have a naturally scratchy throat right now, too, myself. Unfortunately, it's because of dry medicine and the things I'm taking to make me healthy is actually, which annoys the heck out of me because it takes away from doing impressions and other things and talking in general. If I talk for too long, I either have to make sure there's a ton of water nearby or a Riccolo candy, something to basically help me alleviate the scratchy throat, which, like I said, is annoying. Which is about as annoying as everybody's evil, I'm the evil bad guy, bah. Yeah, we get it. Just, not Christopher Walken's right, Christopher Waltz. he plays bad guys. He doesn't change his voice. He is just this very eloquent sounding, you know, Austrian, or other people have played villains. They just stick to their normal voice, and they just talk in an eloquent manner that I am going to do something so vicious and so evil. You're just going to so hate me. And you're just like, ooh, that's scary. But they go around talking like this all the time. Oh, Sofia Boutella, who plays Jayla, the friendly, kick-ass, sort of black and white, striped-faced alien who's kicking ass and taking names in this movie. Yeah, she was really good in this. Had a bit of an accent, I guess, you know, it's all the aliens things. But yeah, and she was the one paired up with Scotty. And she was funny, she was serious, she was kicking ass, she was basically a nice, strong female character type. She wasn't like, oh my god, what do I do? Which I'm liking now in movies nowadays. Even Uhura was kicking some ass and taking some names in this movie as well, which is great. Yeah, and I mentioned Sulu. And I remember when there was all this thing about the LGBT and let's make Sulu gay, and he's going to have a kid and a partner. And Takega's like, oh my, no, that's not how it works. I don't really like that because the original Sulu is not gay. Which is true. I didn't like the idea either. Like other people have said too, it's not an anti-gay thing. It's just basically, you want to have LGBT, great. Make a new character. Why take the other one? And then the argument from Simon Pegg was, well, this is a different universe. Anyway, yeah, so you have this great big universe, you have a new timeline, just be original. But I thought it was so funny too, the amount of screen time Sulu and his daughter and his partner had was basically like, he comes walking off the ship's going in for refit at the Yorktown Space Starbase. And he sees his little daughter, you know, the whole daddy, 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 he picks her up and hugs her. And his buddy's there and he's talking with him and they walk away arm in arm like this. So, okay, how is that a true representation? Somebody mentioned that, and there was this, you know, 1 week argument before the movie coming out about Simon Pegg doing this rewrite and Takei not liking it. This would have been like so quick. It's like, oh, Sulu's got a kid and a guy. Okay, next. As a character development, it was too short. If you wanted to really say, I'm going to do a tribute to LGBT people all over the world, a little more, maybe, something, other than just saying, oh yeah, Sulu's gay. It wasn't enough to make a controversy on the interwebs, let alone, it was like 2 seconds of screen time. I mean, all the other characters had more screen, there was more character development from the other characters. I think there was a bigger development between Uhura and Spock, where it's seen in one of the trailers where Uhura says, oh, did you want your mother's necklace back? And there's a Vulcan proverb, sort of like, don't be an Indian giver. Like, why would I take something back that I gave to you? That's not our way. And then you find out later it's a plot device, that was interesting. So what else was there? But as somebody else stated in another review, and I'll say it too, the third act change of what the villain's backstory was, that's when the movie got interesting for me as well too, because it was kind of like, yeah, it's a typical thing. They're running around and there's explosions, and I thought, like, how many times are we going to wreck the ship? I thought they wrecked it really bad in the first one, but no, I was getting mixed up with the Kelvin in the beginning of Star Trek 9. Or 09, you know, the first one of the new franchise. Oh, that was the other part I noticed too. They really are running out of ideas, and I can see doing like little homages, but the plot of this was basically, and this could be spoilers, it felt like it was Star Trek Nemesis. There was a bioweapon. Instead of turning people into stone, it just, you know, there was one where they showed the actual test of a crewman being locked into the chamber with the bioweapon. They turn it on, and I think the person was eaten alive or whatever it was. It was like this black mat, and sucked back into the disc of death, and then you can retrieve it and run around with this sort of, you know, this frisbee type device that the villain, Crawl is his name, is running around with. Yeah, well, there was other things too. Also, yeah, when they were attacked by this swarm of ships, I thought I was watching Ender's Game. And that's what I felt like. I felt like, oh, here's a little bit of the Nemesis plot. The villains did look like the Remans in Nemesis, the the dark side Romulans, and there's sort of, I felt like, again, some sort of evil vampire. And actually, I was half right when I think, like, yeah, they look like these guys, and they're going for this, dark evil vampiric kind of thing. And actually, I wasn't off by much because, spoiler, Idris Elba, to survive, when you find out who he really was afterwards, but how he got to where he was, he found a technique on how to touch other beings. And you see him in one scene where these people are strung upside down by cabling or whatever, and this is how he regenerates. He actually grabs two people, and everyone's like, "Ah!" And he absorbs the energies of the people. So that's how he gets his strength, and that's how he's been living forever today, because you find out later on that actually he is somebody from the past, and he's, maybe 100 years older than he should be. Because they found out, one of the things they do find in the movie is, the USS Farragut, and it was an NX version, sort of like how Enterprise of the series was NX-01. I forget what the designation was. It was supposed to be an experimental ship. It was a first Warp 4 ship. And actually that set too, I thought, well, okay, the Enterprise bridge in the series, with Scott Bakula, the bridge had a certain look and feel, and this was actually totally done differently. The chairs were done differently. They sort of got they had a double joystick instead of a single joystick for navigating the ship. Not bad, but yeah, there was a lot of little homages, and we're picking parts from other movies or other sci-fi franchises. I found about half a dozen. I can't remember them all. Maybe I should have written them down, but again, too, it's like, oh, you just little point from here, little point from there, little point from. Why not something totally original? I mean, somebody said, too, there's only so many Star Trek plots, there's only so many sci-fi plots. Again, to the evil guy who wants the MacGuffin it's somewhere hidden on the Enterprise, and he's attacking the ship to find his MacGuffin that will power his, doomsday machine and destroy the world, and yeah, it's been done to death. Overall, I don't mind it. I might go see it again, actually, because I do have movie points as well. But yeah, overall wasn't bad. The one thing I did like, at the end of the movie, they did the Star Trek mantra of, space, the final frontier. And I thought, okay, there's Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, and all the other characters actually all chimed in saying the Star Trek mantra of space, the final frontier. These are the adventures of, and the Starship Enterprise. It's 5-year mission. To seek nuclear vessels. In memory of Leonard Nimoy and Anton Yelchin. I'm probably going to say his name wrong. Also a nice little trivia thing too about part of the story. Spock finds out that Spock Prime, who they refer to as Ambassador Spock, Leonard Nimoy, he died. So they worked in that, he died in real life. Well, he's died in the story, so don't worry about it. And one of the neat little homages was too that present day Spock, or I don't know what you want to call him, Quinto Spock, was going through Nimoy's effects that the Vulcan ambassadors had dropped off to him. Some of the members from New Vulcan had dropped by to say, like, hey, by the way, your buddy's dead. He was going through one of his effects, and one of the things was a funky Vulcan picture frame that he opened up, and it was actually a shot of the crew from, was it Star Trek V, I think, where they're all sitting in front of the camera, and I tie in because Quinto Spock was at the crossroads. Do I want to stay in Starfleet? Kirk's side story was he was going to be offered an admiralty to leave the Enterprise. And I thought, too, again, this is his third movie, and technically he never went through the ranks. He was just like, oh, here, you're a captain. He went from cadet to captain. That's not how it worked in any military organization. You start at the bottom rank. You start off as an ensign. You become a lieutenant, or lieutenant, as they say in America. Then lieutenant commander, commander, captain, admiral, commodore, with all the other different ranks. So you work your way up. This is like he was dropped into captain. Or that's why one of my beefs in the first movie was, as soon as some of them, okay, you're acting captain. Okay, in any show, they're acting captain, but they keep their original rank. So he was still like Voyager. Harry Kim was an ensign. Well, even though he was Ensign Kim, there was an episode where he was made captain. Well, they called him captain, but he was still retained the rank of ensign. But they did that with Spock in the first one, where Spock was made acting captain, and Chekhov goes, yes, Commander, I mean captain, You can still call him commander. He is just captain of the ship, not by rank. That's how the acting thing is. It's like, you know what? I'm going to be down the planet. You're in charge. You take over the seat. You are now captain, but you are not captain by rank or by name. You were still left, or in the third movie too. He said, Sulu, you're in charge. And I wasn't like Captain Sulu. He's just a lieutenant. He's still going to be acting. So he's not going to be assuming the rank of captain or becoming captain. So that was the only thing that always threw me in the movies. But overall, it wasn't a bad ride. Like I said, too much darkness. There should have been a little more lighting, even though, yes, we're in a shadowy, dark area. I mean, I've seen episodes. Actually, I'm thinking of one where, the one where Picard in the Four Lights episode, and they're actually on a secret mission going through caves. And I mean, they were showing it was darkly lit caves, but there was enough ambient light in the shot so you can sort of see, not like I'm going, it was sort of like, okay, what? All of a sudden, everything to Steadicam, or the lack of, and some of the fight scenes too, they were doing a lot of boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, what? What's going on? What's going, where? Oh, that, yeah, there's the action. No, what? Again, it should be more focused, or if you want to show fast action, again, running around with a camera like this does not make the action any better. Anyway, hope, like and subscribe. You'll see all the information down below like we always do, and we'll see you around.